It's Aaron here with Robert, and this is Get Your Geek On's Talkin Geek podcast.
And this week, we've got a lot of things to cover. We're going to talk about what the critics are saying about Venom, as well as James Bond, No Time to Die. Both those movies got recent screenings, so we're talking about that. We're also going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett. We got some news on that. We're going to be talking about Halo Infinite. And we also are going to talk a little bit about Oreos that are Pokemon related. Is that, did I got that right?
Yeah, you just bite the heads.
Okay, cool. So yeah, a lot of fun things to talk about. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the movie stuff or what?
Let's start with our favorite movie coming out this year.
James Bond, No Time to Die.
Yes. I mean, sure.
Because it's not Venom.
It's not Venom. Should we start from bad and then go to good, or go to good then bad?
I don't know. I mean, either way, we haven't seen either of these movies yet. I think Venom comes out.
Should be
by
out
the time
now.
you hear this, it'll already be out in theaters. Bond, I think, is a week later, so that won't be out just yet. But both have screened.
Are you going to go with me to see him? To see Venom?
I'll come with you, sure.
Yes. We're going to go see Carnage.
So the critics are basically saying that this movie is what the trailers are selling us, which I've always felt like is the doubling down of the goofiness of the first movie. And that's basically what critics are saying, is that if you liked those portions of the first one, you're going to like this movie because it doubles down on all of those things.
No.
I did not like those portions of the movie. So I am assuming I will not like this movie. But on the other hand, part of the reason I think I ended up middle of the road on the first one, like I didn't think it was amazing, but I think it was terrible either. I think part of the reason was because my expectations were very low, because I kind of thought it looked bad.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, I was pleasantly surprised. That wasn't awful. I enjoyed portions of it. So
I'm hearing, if we keep saying we hate this movie, we're going to like it at the end, because it's going to be such a low bar, it just has to step over it.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It's like if my expectations for this movie are literally in the toilet, because the trailers have looked terrible. And it feels like every time I see anything about this movie or hear anything about this movie, they doubled down on all the stuff that I didn't like in the first one. And so it's like, man, I am not going to like this movie. So maybe having those expectations just very at the bottom, maybe it will be able to clear them, and I'll go, you know what? Actually, I didn't hate my time in the theater.
Yeah, there you go.
But
I don't.
Maybe not. Who knows?
It may be like you could even be. I just no.
Yep.
Maybe it's gonna be that. I mean, I know we both have commented. We do not want to see this movie. We're not ready to enjoy this film. I don't, as a comic book fan.
You're the one that just asked me to go with you.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me that you
because
don't
we're
want
gonna
to
have to review this movie.
Oh, we
you know
have
that.
to review
Yeah.
it.
We have to review a movie.
I don't remember that being in my contract.
It was this fine print on page 36, section 3, paragraph 2.
I only got a 34-page document. Did you not give me the entire contract?
You still signed it. Not my fault.
Come on.
Why do you think the signature was on page 2? I don't want you to read the rest of it. But like,
it was a lot of doodles for like 30 pages. So
A T H. That's how I write. Leave me alone. I did stuff like that too. I've done that. So anyway, but yeah. So like Venom, I'm just not.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it enough that we're not excited for this movie. Again, I think there's been a lot of critics that have kind of said it's silly fun. It's like they've enjoyed it and those types of things. So I think if you liked the first one, according to what the critics are saying, you'll like this one too.
Exactly, you'll love it. You'll have fun.
But I didn't love the first one. Again, I thought there were parts of it that I liked, but I don't think I'm gonna enjoy it.
We drink beforehand, so maybe that's the key. We'll have a couple beers and be like, I still hate this film.
A couple beers will not be enough for me. I need to be mentally impaired if I'm going to enjoy watching.
So we have to go somewhere else first, because it's going to be too expensive to drink at the movie theater.
That is true. That is true.
That is wrong. But yeah.
I'll go have a couple of very heavy mixed drinks.
Right, exactly. There's a little bar across the street.
Yeah. Speaking of martinis.
Exactly. That's why I went with it. And they were shaken, not stirred.
Which,
even though
by the way, yeah, that's literally the dumbest line. If you've ever bartended or know anything about bartending, you would never say that to a bartender because that's how you make a martini. You shake it.
I don't get it still.
You don't stir a martini. So, like, there's no reason to specify that. That might be a reason to specify it the other way, except nobody would actually stir a martini because that's not how you make it.
No.
Which, I will say, that is in my favorite Bond movie is Casino Royale, the first Daniel Craig one. I love that movie. And I love that moment when they play on that, where he goes up to the bartender and he orders a martini. He says vodka martini, and the bartender asks shaken or stirred, which again would not happen.
Yeah.
And he just says, "Do I look like I give a damn?" And I'm like, yes. Like this Bond, he was pissed off. He was angry in that moment. He's just like, just give me a damn drink.
Yeah.
I don't care.
That is weird though for always to say that. But James Bond for the last 40, 50 years?
Yep.
The 60s, 70s, something like that?
Shaken, not stirred.
Has been around. We've had several Bond iterations.
We have.
And this is supposedly Daniel Craig's last one.
I think this is definitely his last one.
I mean, that's why I guess I haven't watched it. I've heard he's kind of checked out since like the second one or third one.
Well,
he was kind of done.
I mean, I will say most people think the first and the third one are the best. And I would agree. I think those are the best. A lot of people like Skyfall, which was the third one. The most out of his series for me, it's still the first one, Casino Royale. Quantum of Solace is not as bad maybe as you remember it. It's quick, it's breezy, it's one of the shortest Bond movies. It's certainly Daniel Craig's shortest. It's only like an hour and a half.
Oh wow, that is really short for Bond.
And then Spectre, which was the last one, was kind of just bloated and a little bit all over the place, and they really tried to be like, look, Spectre's been here the whole time and it's been controlling all this stuff for the last 3 movies, and it kind of was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
so I didn't love that one. It's certainly, I think it might be my least favorite of the 4. It just felt, very, very generic.
Yeah,
I will say. But the critics have seen this one. Some fans have too. And the overall consensus is that it's a good movie. It's a return to form. It's a good send-off for Bond in terms of, kind of the last story that Daniel Craig is going to get.
Did they say if the next Bond is a woman? Did they comment on that?
This is what actually, interesting that you asked that, because this actually came out in the news where Daniel Craig, and don't just read the clickbait headline. Oh, yeah. Because Daniel Craig said, I don't think Bond should be a woman, which is the same comment that actually, so this is going to sound like I'm talking about vegetables. I'm not. The Broccoli family are the people that own the rights to James Bond.
Oh, okay.
So they're in charge of these movies. And so I think it's Barbara Broccoli, I believe is her name, is kind of like the head of at least this portion of the family that kind of controls. She's like their spokesperson. She's the one that comes on. And she said something very similar a couple years ago. And basically what they were both saying, and again, if you have to read the full quote, and I don't have it right in front of me, but the gist of it is that we shouldn't be taking a well-established male character and just planting a woman in front of it and saying, you're the new James Bond. We should just make another badass character that's a female. Like, we don't need...
happy with that.
And so, yeah, I think that's absolutely right, because I think there are problems. Now, that's not to say that it can never work.
Yeah.
But there are some problems you can run into when you just take a role and, gender swap it or race swap it or something like that. I mean, we saw that come up with Superman with, them wanting to make Kal-El black. And there was some reports from Michael B. Jordan, who they had wanted to play the role, basically being like, I don't want to make Kal-El black. There's a couple of black Supermen and I want to do one of those. Like, why do we need to take this character and make him black just so that people will go see the movie that? And so there's some issues with that where it can feel a little bit icky. You can just make another 00 who's a badass woman. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to say that here's 007 James Bond.
Yeah.
Or,
and I think,
Juanita Bond. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's true though. You're right. Like doing that. I mean, I think we've seen it. We actually have seen some. I don't want to say repercussion, but I think we've saw what could happen when we do gender swap like that with Doctor Who. When we went from decades of men being the character, and they hinted in throughout the whole decades. It'd be interesting if I could be this, to be a woman, to be this, and he became a woman. And I feel like a lot of fans didn't like her. And I watch her now. Doctor Who, it's always about when you watch that Doctor, you fall in love with the Doctor you like. I will always say mine's Peter Capaldi, and then after that would be David Tennant.
Right.
And she just never caught my attention, not because she's a woman, just because I didn't enjoy the stories as much.
Sure.
We did lose one of the main writers, though, so maybe that was also part of it.
And I will say, specifically with a character like James Bond,
it's tough.
I mean, this is a character who literally is like a misogynistic asshole for most of his cinematic appearances. Like they've
up until Daniel Craig.
Yeah, they've done a better job. I mean, I would say Pierce Brosnan wasn't. He was certainly not like Sean Connery.
Sean Connery was
those
Roger
movies. Moore. Roger Moore was more like the charming one. Like Sean Connery always felt like a predator.
Yeah.
Which was not okay. Even though I like some of his movies, it's like, this character is very like he's almost like anti-women, which is not cool. Like Roger Moore just always seemed like kind of just a womanizer, like like that kind of like that. He didn't ever necessarily feel threatening to women in the way that Sean Connery did, but still very much treated most women as just
objects.
A piece of whatever. And like the Timothy Dalton ones, there's not a whole lot of.
He didn't get enough time to establish, I think, what he wanted the character to be.
The Pierce Brosnan ones, again, we started to see more females in more powerful roles. And then the Daniel Craig ones have started to go that way as well. And, there is a female 00 in this movie.
Which I do love that. I love that we get
played
her.
by Lashana Lynch, who is the Captain Marvel's friend in her movie. Maria Rambeau, I believe. And so I'm really looking forward to her. I really liked her in the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing her as a 00.
And I'd like that, how, again, make a movie about her. If she lives through this film, make a movie about her. We did see...
Or, I mean, it doesn't have to be a spin-off. Like, I mean, we've seen other spy movies, like we saw Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron. We've seen badass female action heroes.
Again, Battle Angel?
I mean, the Mad Max Fury Road with Charlize Theron, where she was a badass. Maybe we just need to keep making Charlize Theron movies. Yeah, Uma Thurman, Kill Bill. I mean, so we can make original characters that are awesome.
And I think that's what we need to do. We don't need to mess with what, like you said, we've established this character since the 70s, if not a little bit longer. Because I can't remember when he originally came out.
No, in the 60s.
Did he? Okay. So
based on the books that I think were out earlier than that.
They were like in the 40s, weren't they?
Yeah, something like that.
50s?
I don't know when Ian Fleming wrote them, but
I don't remember.
Pretty early.
I used to know a lot of that stuff, but like I love James Bond, so it's like, please keep it like this. Like again, maybe I haven't given Daniel Craig enough of a chance. I've seen Casino Royale, and I think I've seen Quantum of Solace, and that's it. I need to see the other ones just so before I see this one. I probably will, because again, I really do love Bond, and I need to give Daniel Craig his proper chance, and I will. Yeah, I think I will, but. Again, let us know too what you think, because I'm always curious. I always want to know what other people think of these movies, especially this franchise. I mean, like we said, since the '60s, man, that's been around.
And I was let down by Spectre quite a bit. Because I thought Skyfall was really good after Casino Royale again being my favorite James Bond movie of all time. And then they were bringing in Christoph Waltz, who I think is a fantastic actor, to play Blofeld in Spectre. It was like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be great. And then it just like totally let me down.
And he's in this one, right?
He is returning. I don't think he's the main villain, because I think the main villain is Rami Malek of Mr. Robot fame, who's also Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie.
Really? Okay.
So yeah, I think he's going to be the main villain. And I think Blofeld will show up. I believe that's confirmed. But I am looking forward to this one again. I'm hoping they kind of have a return to form, because I will say, like, this movie and the Jason Bourne movie have kind of, taken similar paths. That Jason Bourne movie came out in like 2002. Casino Royale was 2006, I think. And then the Bourne trilogy was really good, and then it kind of has fallen off. And honestly, the last one that came out, and I don't know if they're going to make another one, the last one that came out, I fell asleep in the theater.
Holy crap.
I mean, I was tired going in.
Yeah.
But still, like, in an action movie of a character in a franchise that I really like, I fell asleep and, like, woke up, like, 10, 15 minutes later, and I was like, oh, I totally missed whatever. That tells me something about this movie.
Exactly.
I did not fall asleep in Spectre, but I just remember feeling let down.
Yeah.
Like, it was just kind of one of those, like, there's a lot of potential, and it just was kind of squandered. But fingers crossed for this one. Again, most people, like, I don't think anyone has come out and said, like, this is the best Bond movie ever.
It's the best.
But there have been a consensus that it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And so I'm hopeful.
Hopefully, we will see. So, going from shoot 'em up movies, let's jump to Halo. So, I don't know what else we had, because it was that or Oreos, so I didn't know which other.
There's a Star Wars story that we have to talk about too.
Story.
But let's talk about Halo.
Let's go talk about. Well, that gets us into sci-fi.
Sure.
So Halo is a sci-fi shooter.
Yeah.
And Star Wars is a bunch of guys in white shirts missing stuff.
Just stick in your lane. Talk about Halo. Okay. Don't try and bring Star Wars. You don't know anything about Star Wars. Talk about Halo. Just talk about Halo.
Hold on. I know I hate Luke Skywalker's storyline. There you go. So Halo, the tech previews they've had 2 tech previews, which is basically a fancy way of saying betas, because they're testing the waters, seeing what's going to work, what's not.
Well, if they've had 2 of them, then haven't they had a Charlie?
A Charlie? Oh my God, no. Terrible.
Although that's a different. I don't know what's the Greek third letter, because that's what alpha beta is.
It's alpha beta.
I was thinking like alpha bravo.
Which is it's Delta? No, is it Delta?
That's Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta.
Oh, that's right. That's military.
Is the military one, but I don't know what the Greek.
I have no idea what the Greek
third
one
letter
would be.
is. Because there's the alpha test and then the beta
test. Yeah, usually that's where they stop though. But anyway,
but
so
if you do 2 of them, you can't call them both beta tests.
That's why they're called tech previews. That's why they got around it. So this is the second one that's happened. By the time this video comes out or this audio cast, the third one would have come out. There's been a lot of little hiccups, which you should expect from a tech preview, because they're not finished. They still have 2 months from the 9th to get the game out. And that's where they're going to polish up the graphics. They're going to fix these little bugs we're seeing. And really, this is where I'm at. Like, I'm enjoying it. There should be a video out later this week, if not already. My opinion on the last 2 previews, and then I'll do one more for the third one, probably the final one. I don't think they're doing any more after this tech flight, because this one's actually an open test flight. So I think they're going to stress test their servers on this one, like how many people will log in and play this game day one kind of thing. Which I always hate that they do these test servers, because it's like, you're telling me you have no idea how many people pre-ordered it or pre-downloaded it. You don't have any of those numbers to have an idea of like, okay, we're going to have 100,000 people possibly enter the game on day one. Like, why do you need to test that? I mean, I get you need to test it, but how do you not know? Like, I don't know. That's where I always get a little mildly confused, because it's like, you should know your numbers. So anyway, so the game comes out in December. We've gotten these previews. So this one, I believe, is going to be open to everybody, and it's going to have big team battle, which is going to be like 8v8, maybe more. Rumors are that maybe the Battle Royale feature will come out a little bit. We've gotten to see some of the vehicles. I got to play in the social matches where it was just 4v4. And so far, I'm liking it, but the bugs are pissing me off. Like, there are a lot of bugs. And one of them, it's like
the kind that are in that terrible movie, Starship Troopers?
Yeah, exactly. And I shoot them to get rid of them, and then I walk away. And then I look for the brain bug. So, I hate you.
I like that you just agreed that it's a terrible movie, though, because you did not refute that statement. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Keep moving.
But it's okay. That's why we should remake the film and to make it something better.
Sure. I'm on board for that. Yes. You can remake Starship Troopers, 100%.
When I become a famous director, I'm going to make this movie. I'm going to cast you in it.
Well, I thought you wanted to make a good movie.
Well, I got to have the one bad character for the movie, I don't think I can get Gary Busey's kid again. So I got to have someone else replace him.
Jake
Jake B. There you go. Couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so the little bugs are kind of making me mad because again, you're supposed to have like anti-cheats and all that on. And when I've been playing it, some of these guys are doing what they call lag switching, where you kind of like jump around a lot because you're going so slow that your speeds are so slow that you're able to move around, and it makes it look like you're in one spot and you're not. And so I've run into that a lot. So I'm hoping they'll fix that. And again, I'll go into more depth into it, but I just want to remind people that, hey, if you've had a chance to play it, like let us know on our Facebook page, official GYGO, because I'm curious what other people's experiences are. And that's why I wanted to bring it up. And again, I want to bring it up because we've had 3 test flights. Maybe we'll get more, but this will be the third and hope maybe the final one before they polish up the rest of the game and send it out. So I'm excited. What?
We're moving to a story that I did not include in the rundown because this is literally breaking news as we are recording.
Okay.
That Scarlett Johansson and Disney have settled their Black Widow lawsuit.
Did you say Black Widow? Hold on, wait.
I was misreading because I was reading the word pay.
Oh,
so I
was
just
like, wait,
Black
what?
Widow lawsuit.
Okay.
The terms of the settlement were not disclosed, but Scarlett
sealed.
Johansson has a quote here.
Okay.
It says, "I am happy to have resolved our differences with Disney. I'm incredibly proud of the work we've done together over the years and have greatly enjoyed my creative relationship with the team. I look forward to continuing our collaboration in years to come."
So they're all happy now.
Yep. And then Alan Bergman, the chairman of Disney Studios Content, said this is his quote, "I'm very pleased that we have been able to come to a mutual agreement with Scarlett Johansson regarding Black Widow. We appreciate her contributions to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and look forward to working together on a number of upcoming projects, including Disney's Tower of Terror."
So that's back on because that was canned, and now it's back on.
So clearly, Disney, because there was also just in the last week or so, they kind of announced that they were reevaluating the terms of their talent contracts.
I saw
that in the wake of kind of this. So clearly, they ponied up to the point that they needed to. They took care of it, which I think they absolutely should have and needed to. And they're ready to put this behind them.
Exactly. And I hope it is. I hope this was just a little bump in the road, a little hiccup.
Yep.
Because again, COVID changed the way we watch films. It changed everything when it comes to media. Yep. And you don't want to piss off people like Scarlett Johansson, the Russo brothers who helped make your films.
Well,
and you got The Rock, who's now making money for you.
Honestly, one of those things where it's like, to have that be the only movie that they released this way in the MCU. They did it with a few other movies.
Yeah.
They did it with like
Mulan.
Mulan, Cruella.
The boat. The Rock, I just said his name.
The Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise, there you go.
But in the MCU, this was the only one they did it, and then to have the next one be Shang-Chi, which they did exclusively in theaters, and it made a good amount of money. It still is not, I think it, was up over 200 some odd million.
Worldwide, yeah.
Which
not
is
counting China still.
Yeah, which it may not get released there.
Yeah.
Which is on the lower end of most Marvel movies. Most Marvel movies, at least the ones that have come out really since like, Avengers, have been at least $400 to $500 million, if not more.
Yeah.
Now, some of the Ant-Man movies were a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
So they don't all make all of the money.
Yeah.
But, Shang-Chi has certainly been the most successful pandemic release movie. And so to have that be on the heels, I think probably put added pressure on Disney to take care of this. But yeah, I'm glad that they did.
She's not asking more than what was in her contract. That's all she's wanting.
We don't know.
Right, that's true.
I
guess I should rephrase that. She just wants everything to be
right.
perfect.
Well, the contract was based on box office receipts, which obviously were impacted. Yes, they still released it in theaters, but they were obviously impacted by it being available on Disney Plus. How much they were impacted?
None of us.
None of us knows. Of course, it wasn't like it. Unless you're a conspiracy theorist, I don't think the pandemic is Disney's fault. So it's not like they did that on purpose. But certainly the pandemic, as well as the simultaneous release on Disney Plus, depressed the box office. And again, the report was basically that Disney was unwilling to renegotiate the contract based on those circumstances. And so, I think that makes it very clear that, hey, they needed to figure something else out. Clearly they did.
I would laugh though. Now that you said conspiracy theorists, what's if like the antidote for COVID would have come out and then we got like 6 Marvel movies back to back, like one every month? It just, yeah, don't worry about that. The antidote, it was just, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would have laughed.
Hey, it just come see our movies in theaters and you won't get COVID.
He is not wrong. He might not be wrong. I don't know. Don't trust that. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah, I can only speak the anecdotal evidence, which is that Aaron and I both went to see Black Widow. Well, no, you didn't see Black Widow. I saw Black Widow in theaters.
I saw Free Guy in theaters.
No, we're talking MCU only.
Oh, MCU only.
So I saw Black Widow.
Free Guy?
It's Disney, but it's not MCU.
Chris Evans is in it. It's MCU.
No. Chris Evans has been on a lot of movies. That doesn't make it MCU.
It was a reference to Captain America?
A reference to, but he was not Captain America in the movie.
Okay. You got me there.
Yes. Anyway, so we've had 2 movies. I've been to both of them in theaters. You've been to one, and at least to my knowledge, neither of us have caught COVID. Nope. So maybe,
Disney movies, you won't get sick with COVID. So we could say three out of 3 of them so far. Since I saw, did you see Free Guy in theaters?
I did.
Okay, so yeah, see 3. Go watch a Disney movie. Don't get COVID. Got it. That's the takeaway from all of this, guys. Remember that. That's how science works. I don't know how science works.
So, anyways,
move it on.
Literally, that came out, and I was like, we have to talk about this.
Yeah, because he was so excited to hear the Halo news, he was looking at other news on his phone. That's how
I just didn't have anything to contribute.
Oh, I know. I know, because you're not a big Halo guy. Well, a big gamer.
I'm not a big gamer.
But you're gonna get a gaming computer soon, so.
Sure.
You are, just like in 2 days.
Sure. Anyways, Star Wars. The Book of Boba Fett. We got an official poster which has the release date. So we are getting this series premiering on Disney Plus December the 29th. So a Wednesday.
Literally the last week of the month.
Yep, the last Wednesday of the year. We are getting the Book of Boba Fett. Brought to you by the Star Wars guys, including Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Robert Rodriguez, who I know you're very excited about.
I love Robert.
He's
such a nice guy.
Yeah, I don't think we need to really spend a lot of time talking about this, but
no.
It's just cool that we're, again, Disney Plus is kind of, releasing a lot of content. We've got, obviously, What If is wrapping up.
Star Wars Visions.
We've got Star Wars Visions that just dropped. We've got, coming in November is like Hawkeye. And then in October, they have like it's like their 1 year anniversary. And they've already announced they're doing a Disney Plus day where they're going to drop, that's in November. Because I think in November, I think is when is the anniversary. It's like the 2 year anniversary or whatever. But we're getting like they announced that's when like Shang-Chi is coming to the
because it's like 45 days after release or something, isn't it?
Well, no, it'll be 60? A little bit more than 45 days. But they've announced that one's coming then.
Okay.
As well as we'll probably get maybe footage from other things dropping on Disney Plus in the near future, like maybe the Kenobi series, maybe the Andor series, probably the Ms. Marvel series, which it really seems like we're not going to get until 2022. But yeah,
that's only around the corner when you say it, and it's like it's next year.
Yeah,
it's in like 4 months.
Yeah, we're not that far away.
No, 4 months. But.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
And I'm excited for some of it. I am. Again, I'm excited for anything Star Wars related, not to Skywalker. And again, I love Robert Rodriguez, so I'm excited that he's part of something. And I love Jon Favreau, so it's like these two guys, their goal.
And they've given us a little bit more details about the plot, which is basically, we got Boba Fett and Fennec Shand basically taking over the Empire from Jabba the Hutt.
But they're not part of the actual Empire, right? They're like
no.
Okay.
The Hutts, kind of, they had, if you will, a uneasy alliance with the Empire, which is kind of like they were allowed to control a lot of the criminal activity on the outer rim. Okay. Like the Empire kind of had a lockdown on everything in the kind of inner area of the galaxy, and then it was kind of like if we have to come out that far and we have to deal with something, we might, but mostly we don't mind it being,
A
under
third party,
the control of criminals. And,
Okay.
as long as they maintain control,
Mhm.
which is kind of what the Hutts did. But
Gotcha.
now we've got a new criminal enterprise popping up. Looks like Boba Fett and Fennec Shand are looking to take over. So
do you think, because I know you said you're not a huge fan of Boba Fett, right?
yeah, I mean, I think he was a very like a cool looking character in the original trilogy, but I always kind of felt like he was a little bit of the menace and threat that they told us he was. I never really felt it, especially in Return of the Jedi. I mean, he just goes out like a little bitch.
He does.
And so when he returned in The Mandalorian, just like laying waste to stormtroopers, it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, but stormtroopers are awful. So, like, is that really that impressive?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Well, we saw, Ewoks beat him too, so it's not like...
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I just feel like his legend has always been built up more than what he has actually shown us, but maybe they'll really pull it off in this series.
Has he ever taken down a Jedi or a Sith Master or Sith Lord or whatever?
Not that we have ever seen.
Okay.
We did see him, kind of tie up Luke very briefly in Return of the Jedi, but that's the only time we've ever seen him actually battle a Force user.
Luke, at that point, was he a Jedi Master? Not really, though, right? Like,
yeah,
he was just, I don't know.
I mean, did Luke ever really become a Jedi Master?
I don't know. Anakin never did.
No, he did not. He did not achieve the rank of Jedi Master. Now, maybe it was a Sith Lord. So,
maybe.
You can debate all you want whether or not that's better or not.
That's true. So, moving on to the last and most fluffy piece. I love it.
Do you?
Because, I mean, a piece of fucking cookie makes $13,000.
Language, Aaron. Language.
I speak English.
Yeah, you should beep that out. We got young listeners, impressionable listeners that listen to this show. I don't know if that's true.
I don't think that's true.
But yeah.
I think we're lucky if we get anyone over the age of 18.
If you buy some Pokemon Oreos, which I'm sure are not available on shelves anymore.
I've been having issues finding them again.
You could make some money.
Yeah. So one, and I don't understand this. So, and this is the funny thing. These things came out, and I guess I should set some backstory. If you don't know, Nabisco makes Oreos. Nabisco
do know that.
Has a strike going on with their employees, so the Oreos aren't coming out as much, and they're getting a little bit harder to find right now because of the strike. And depending how, I'm not going to get into the political side. Just go, if you want to know that stuff, go watch it, because there's really two sides to every story, and I've kind of been listening to both sides, and I know where I fall, and I'm not going to get into that. So Nabisco, though, is having issues sending out supply and demand, obviously. I got lucky and I bought 3 packages. I went to Walmart one day, spur of the moment, and literally there was a whole display. I grabbed 3 because I was like, oh, you know what? I have Oreos for a while. We opened one bag and ate them. And on the Oreo, it's a picture of
How much money did you just eat and put in your belly?
Do we know how many Oreos are in a bag by chance? It's 4 rows.
I'm going to say...
Let's guess.
I'm going to say like 60, maybe 80.
Okay, let's split in the middle. Let's go 70. Just split it in the middle.
Okay.
So... apparently, I ate $910,000 worth of Oreos.
Fail, Aaron. You could have been a millionaire.
Almost a millionaire. So
because a single Oreo?
A single Oreo of Mew, who's the 150 Pokemon, the Gen 1 generation, sold for over $13,000 on eBay.
Well, so that... maybe not every Oreo is worth $13,000. So
that also was
check that math over again.
Yeah, that was also for an auction for charity, supposedly. So maybe people were being charitable to do it.
I mean, what about the Feed Aaron Shapiro Foundation?
Done. Happening. I need my $13,000 Mew Oreo. I mean, and I need for Bulbasaur to go for about $150,000 because I love Bulbasaur. If I get a Bulbasaur one, I'm gonna figure out how to preserve that one because I love Bulbasaur. So apparently, if you
know all about the Pokemon. I love.
You didn't play Pokemon?
I love Charizard, and Pikachu. Big one. Mewtwo.
Okay.
Yep. And then those ones.
No,
Voltorb, I did not play Pokemon.
Craze?
I never did. Actually, the only Pokemon I really knew about was Pikachu because he kind of transcended. He was everywhere. He was in what is it, Super Smash Brothers. So
Super Smash Bros. What really helped it.
That's what I played that game.
You know who he is.
I was like, ooh, Pikachu. I didn't want to play with him. I always played Kirby. I like Kirby.
I always played Pikachu, honestly. Even until now, I still...
Or Samus.
Samus.
She was cool.
She's cool. I like her character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, they pretty much transcend everything. If you've never played it, you know of what a Pokemon is, these little creatures that fight. So it's like in a little ball.
You gotta wear the hat.
And you gotta turn it backwards when you throw it, too.
Correct.
You gotta always do that. Otherwise, you'll never catch anything.
And you gotta catch them all.
You do. You have to catch
See, I know the
every one of them.
catchphrase at least.
He's terrible. I had nothing else to run with that, too. I was just like, I got nothing. I honestly stopped playing probably around like Gen 3 or Gen 4 Pokemon. But I mean, yeah, so apparently people are selling them, though. They're all over eBay, ranging from like $50 for a package of Oreos to like thousands.
And Pokemon made such a huge comeback with like Pokemon Go. Was such a huge craze a few years ago.
So much money off of that.
And then, of course, they had the Detective Pikachu movie that came out.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, it's been back in the news. It's been, all those things. And I mean,
people are liking it again.
Yeah.
And there's some new games coming out. They have Pokemon Unite, which is kind of like a League of Legends kind of game. So if you want to go check something out like that, but Pokemon style, go check out Unite.
And be like a water-based or whatever, right?
Yeah, you can be a water-based trainer.
See?
I will stick with Bulbasaur because I just want Bulbasaur. I'll be like, fuck all y'all other Pokemons.
Language again, Aaron. Jeez.
This podcast was not rated M. It's rated really M.
Oh, if only the people could see me just rubbing my head in like disgust and shame.
The problem is, it's rated M for Eminem, for Venom.
No.
And we're going to catch a lot of momentum on this show.
No. Oh my God. Can you just leave me in charge of the dad jokes? Because all of yours are terrible.
They're supposed to be terrible.
No, but they're supposed to be like terrible in a clever way. Yours are just dumb.
I go for the dumb ones. I like that.
Those aren't.
That's what when your kids are my kids' age, and you embarrass them, you go for the dumb ones to make it even more embarrassing. You do.
No.
Yep.
I will never debase myself to the dumb dad jokes.
I want to know that people
clever dad jokes that are still like incredibly boring.
I gotta tell you a story later. But anyway, so on that note, go sell your Pokemon cookies if you have them. I have 2 packages. They're on eBay. Go look them up, by now.
If you swiped a bag, don't eat $900,000 worth of Oreos.
Roughly $900,000.
Like Aaron and his daughter did.
We did.
Maybe your mom helped you out. I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know. I know it's pretty much Elena the whole way. Like, that's just her.
Yep.
So on that note, guys, if you have those Oreos and you want to try to sell them, go for it. Like I said, they're selling from anywhere from $50 to a few hundred per each one. I'm probably going to try to post them up.
Call up Milk. Because that's Milk's favorite cookie.
Dude.
So Milk might give you some money.
If I add milk
See, that's a quality dad joke. Right there.
If I add almond milk, does that count?
No.
Oh.
Almond milk does not count.
Oh. Well, how else am I supposed to keep it preserved to send with them?
You're not going to be able to.
So on that note, guys, go definitely check out our YouTube page, Facebook, and all of that. Halloween is coming up by the time this comes out, so that means this month we will have some spooky stuff I will be bringing out all month long. An interview with Haunted Oaks will be coming out this week, as well as maybe some haunted stuff during our podcast or other shows. Maybe we'll do little live skits or 1-minute skits on Facebook of haunted stuff. So go check all of that out. And that's on official GYGO, as well as our YouTube page, official GYGO, Facebook, Instagram, all that. Whatever you want to go look it up. And on that note, this is Get Your Geek On, and I'm Aaron, and that's Robert. Stay geeky and get your geek on.
Bye.